From removed icons you've never seen to bugs that would literally ban you from the game, here are 25 things that were removed from Geometry Dash. Everyone knows about the unreleased level Ultimate Destruction, but did you know that at one point, way before the game's release, the menu screen for the level looked entirely different? And if you look carefully, you can also see that RobTop spelled Ultimate wrong. Maybe it's time he goes back to kindergarten. If you played Geometry Dash 2.1, you probably remember the useless Hall of Fame tab. This was essentially a section with random community maps that you would play for basically no reward at all. Well, in version 2.2, it got removed. However, the Hall of Fame did get a replacement. However, the save was never actually added to the game, and it instead was replaced with lists, which is basically a better version of map packs. But playing them doesn't give you any bonus rewards. But did you know that hidden deep within the game files, there is a mysterious main level that was never added? Active was supposed to be the new main level for Geometry Dash 1.4, but it got cancelled for no reason. However, some data miners were able to find pulse data for jump rings and decoration of this level. Based on that data, YouTube channel Colton was able to recreate what the level was supposed to look like. Back in 2023, Geometry Dash was removed from the Google Play Store because it hadn't been updated for over 6 years, meaning it had a much higher risk of getting hacked. RobTop himself said that Google set him a deadline to update the game, which he ignored, causing the game to be removed. However, this wasn't only the case for the Play Store, but for the App Store as well. But with the majority of the player base being Android users, this definitely made them mad, and the only hope for them was to wait until Geometry Dash 2.2 releases, which did release in late 2023. But it was definitely worth the wait because now I can spam fire in the hole! Did you know that before the game's release, Geometry Dash was going to be called something entirely different? In the process of naming the game, RobTop said that he named it just Geometry because it was built up of simple geometry shapes. However, RobTop later planned on calling it Geometry Jump, but for some reason, Apple told him he couldn't name it that, so he called it Geometry Dash instead. In my opinion, Dash sounds way better than Jump, and RobTop himself agreed. We all know RobTop loves to edge us with content when it comes to previews, and this feature is no different. In the preview of version 2.0, players were presented with a new monster that was supposed to be added called the Witch Monster, but it didn't get much screen time, only showing up in one teaser screenshot. So we don't know exactly how they would have acted, but what I can say is that they look really goofy. It would have been better if RobTop just added a cookie monster. Did you know that monsters used to be crazy with their mouths? Pause. In this teaser screenshot, you can see that the monster had a tongue. Now, not many people noticed this at first, but it was never added to the final game. Like, imagine dying because a monster licked your ball. Crazy, right? Geometry Dash used to have the worst parental controls in history, because if you go into the parental control option, you have the option to allow only featured maps for online levels. However, when the feature first came out, it didn't remove the search option like it was supposed to, but instead all it did was disable map packs. I can imagine this led to some interesting conversation. Before version 1.0 of Geometry Dash, portals used to look entirely different. These old designs were pretty much taken from popular Valve franchise Portal. However, these were just concept designs, and in the final game, they were added with an original design. We don't know if old portals were just meant to teleport you further into the map, but now they make you switch game modes. You've probably seen the saw decoration while playing Geometry Dash, but did you know it actually has an old unused design? The predecessor of this saw was actually hexagon shaped and had 3 size variants: big, medium, and small. It was only shown in the concept preview, and after that, it was just cancelled. And RobTop later decided to get it reworked into the normal saw. In the beginning of the game, the ship only used one color instead of the 2 different shade options that we now use today. You can even see it in the game's Steam banner. Thank God RobTop changed this, because imagine grinding for a cool new ship and you can only use one color. Additionally, it was originally intended to just be called the Rocket, but everyone called it a ship, so RobTop decided to roll with it. This secret bug literally bans you from Geometry Dash. The Demon Crash bug used to be a known bug among the community, where if you had 500 stars or completed 5 demon levels, your game would just crash every time you tried to play it. Some players also began spreading rumors that your entire PC would explode. Maybe this was actually RobTop just trying to get his players to touch grass. In Geometry Dash 2.1, there are 21 main levels to choose from, but when checking the game files, there are actually 37 different slots containing main level songs. These songs are hidden from players in the editor, but using a mod, you can actually see which songs they are. They're all from the game spin-off series Geometry Dash Sub-Zero, Meltdown, and World. And there is a theory that those separate games were supposed to be a part of the main game, but RobTop later stated that creating separate games for spin-off series did make him a fair amount of money. Seems like he made the right choice. Did you know that the difficulty icons looked way different before the game's release? In the pre-release era of Geometry Dash, there used to be only 5 difficulties: easy, normal, hard, harder, and insane. These 5 difficulties were the only ones to have their old, more chill design, but after release, they were scrapped and replaced by today's famous emoji design. To be honest, I'm glad the old designs got removed because I can literally draw them in Microsoft Paint in like 5 minutes. Everyone knows about Scratch, the merchant in Geometry Dash's icon shop. He makes a lot of different faces, but if we dig into the game files, there's a hidden second sprite of Scratch where he's angry. We don't know the purpose of this or why it was created in the first place, but later, RobTop decided to just rework it on the community shop merchant Popor, which gets angry when you ask him for a refund policy. I sure don't trust those robots with that look in their eyes. Geometry Dash was supposed to have a BPM button. The function of this button has been speculated to just show the BPM rate of the level song that you're playing. Some people thought it was going to be a feature for changing songs BPM as you're playing, but that's highly unlikely. This button has been apparently found in gameplay footage of Geometry Dash's pre-release version. Eternity! No, I don't mean like an infinite amount of time, but a level that was supposed to be added in version 1.8. Eternity was a song that everyone in the community was betting on being added and huge hype was spread. However, when the song preview for 1.8 came out, players were presented with icons of book, infinity, and the number 2, which meant that we were getting Theory of Everything 2 instead. But that wasn't the only song that was supposed to get added. RobTop scammed players with this song as well. In the song preview of the 2.0 update, we were shown 5 icons: a B plus D, plane, a locked skull, the logo of the producer Waterflame, and a question mark. What did these even mean? While the last 2 could mean that Waterflame was working on a Geometry Dash exclusive song or that we're getting a song Conclusion. In the end, Deadlocked was made an official level while Conclusion wasn't even considered, so we basically got scammed. The slow speed portal used to have this ugly design back when it was first announced in the preview for update 1.7. It was literally just a speed portal but reversed and orange. But luckily, by the time the second preview of the update was out, RobTop fixed it into a thick backwards arrow that we all know and use today. That old design absolutely sucks. Everyplay used to be known as the Reddit for Unity games, and it was essentially a portal where players could upload their raw footage from any popular Unity game, including Geometry Dash. However, Unity shut down this feature in 2018, which left players kinda disappointed because at the time, most players had older phones which are known for having issues with screen recording. Rest in peace, Everyplay. But did you know that RobTop removed tons of icons throughout the game's history? That's right, there used to be even more. This included a ball with a mouth, some old designs that were changed upon being added to the game, and this Among Us icon, just to name a few. Due to controversy surrounding its creator, however, the Among Us icon was cut from update 2.2, so you'll never get the chance to be sus. Most things are very noticeable when removed. However, this isn't always the case, because when the follow player button was removed from the level editor settings menu, almost nobody noticed. It literally only got 10 upvotes on Reddit. Unfortunately, the reason for this removal was never clarified, but many players think it was most likely due to camera trigger working as a complete replacement for it. But one thing that was very obvious when removed was the background trigger object. This trigger was a super easy way to change the color of the background, and there were also ground triggers to complement it. But in update 2.0, these objects were permanently removed and instead being replaced with the color trigger. Now, this had a lot of creators, including me, very confused when the update came out, until people managed to figure out that to change the background color, you can just click into the color trigger. Also, fun fact, you can still get the background trigger object by copying older levels with it and adding it as a custom preset object. However, I guarantee nobody knows about this next feature that was removed. Because did you know that back in the day, you could verify levels by beating them in practice mode? That's right, you didn't have to beat it in normal mode to verify and upload your level. The reason this feature was removed was because practice mode has a lot of bugs which could make it possible to verify a level that was impossible to complete in normal mode. And there you have it, 25 things removed from Geometry Dash. Make sure to subscribe and check out this video on the screen. Bye!